What is the one thing that you think would have prevented a lot of your yo-yo dieting the 8 times you did it?
Hands down, the number one thing I wish I had done is slept more. And this is an answer that probably a lot of people aren't expecting to hear. Because I talk a lot about calories and portioning, but honestly, the one thing that I just regret, my biggest regret actually on anything to date in life, is that I didn't prioritize improving my sleep.
So we're starting a new series called How Do I Stay Healthy and Fit? What real people do, where we talk about what real people do on a day-to-day basis and not just what you see when you go out to a restaurant with them or on their Instagram. If you want to be notified when the next episode in the series comes out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell icon. Hi VivaFam, this is Richa
And Lucy,
from CoachViva.com. Let's go. How did it connect to weight gain?
the dangerous thing about not having quality sleep is that it starts a chain reaction that goes unnoticed until it's really too late. When it comes to weight gain, what lack of sleep really does is it makes your body feel like it's in stress, high alert mode all the time. And so it really tries to get you to get more energy into your body. And the only way the body knows how to really signal that is to just rev up your cravings for carbs, the main source of energy. And I will say, I attribute 90%, if not completely, my sugar addiction throughout most of my life to the fact that I wasn't getting consistent and good enough sleep. And by far, the biggest source of calories for me was sugars and other types of processed carbs.
So if you were getting that exhausted and getting so many cravings, why didn't you just go and prioritize sleep at that point?
If I had a deadline coming up at the end of the week, my mindset was, okay, for 1 week, I don't need sleep because I will just start over the next week. It was literally the same as my diet mindset. Like, I'll just start over the next week. And what I didn't account for, 1 week of missed sleep for me equals almost 3 weeks of recovery. What you think is normal affects a lot on what motivates you, what action you take, right? So, because I haven't had consistent sleep for the longest time, I thought fogginess was normal and sugar cravings were normal, and a lot of things I thought were normal.
And I think that is something that you should ask yourself. If you feel anything is normal, is it really normal? And maybe ask your friends, what is normal for them? I've had family members who have irritable bowel syndrome, and they came to me and said isn't everyone in pain all the time? And I was like, no. I'm not in pain all the time. I think most people are not in pain most of the time. How much all of these things, all of these choices that we make affect what we think is normal, and as a result we just accept them and we don't change them, because saying something is normal means accepting it, right? Now that you have experienced what feeling normal sleep with energy feels like, how did you even get to that point?
And so I actually just want to take a step back. Most people, when they think about getting better sleep, they think that means getting 7 to 9 hours a day, because that's what the National Sleep Association recommends. But if you can't sleep, if it takes you long to fall asleep, or you're constantly waking up, trying to force yourself to get 7 hours of sleep is really hard, because if I go to bed by 10 p.m. and I can't go to sleep until 4 a.m., that means I gotta wake up at 11 a.m. the next day and miss, my 8 a.m. meeting the next day.
Right.
That's just not feasible. You need to find the one thing that you can do consistently that you can control. And actually, Richard was the one who gave me this idea, which is, if I can't control the time that I fall asleep, I should control the time that I wake up. That means picking a time that wakes up. Ideally, it should be a time that's around where you already wake up, so that, you just make it easy for yourself, right? So pick a time that you wake up and force yourself to wake up at that time every single day, weekend or not, and commit to that for a long time. And this can vary from people to people. For me, it was probably about 3 months. A lot of people, think that 21 days is enough to build a habit. From my experience, 21 days is not enough for me to build any habit.
Yeah.
3 months for me, and I think Rich is even
9 months.
Yeah.
12 months. 9 to 12 months.
So keep that in mind. The first 2 weeks suck.
You're tired all the time.
You gotta trust it gets much worse before it gets better. This is definitely a trust the system kind of thing, and it took me years to trust the system. So just because I tried this wake up at the same time experiment multiple times before I finally stuck to it. The second thing that helped me, there's research to show that even if you're lying in bed and not doing anything, the fact that you are just resting actually still helps your body recover a little bit. Like, by far not as good as sleep, but it's not useless either. And I think knowing that kind of that one little reframe that I'm resting, not I cannot sleep, helped me a lot.
Sometimes I'd be lying in bed and my eyes are dropping, like I'm getting tears in my eyes from like trying to keep it open. And I would still not give in to sleep. And the reason for that was this was the only time I had personal time by myself. And that is also an important aspect to look into on why you may not be prioritizing sleep. Is the time before sleep in bed the only personal time that you have? There's an excellent book actually that we talked to our email list about. It's called The 5 Gears, and I link it in the description below. It's an excellent book on how to make sure that your life is pretty balanced, because I think we tend to sacrifice sleep if we don't have that balance between the 5 gears.
This thing that has helped me that is very much overlooked. You know, I've tried it before, but once again, never consistently until recently, which is to establish a bedtime ritual and a wake up ritual actually. So the bedtime ritual helps prime my body to get to sleep, and my wake up ritual primes my body to wake up. So you know, I keep that cadence going. And I found the trick, as with anything habit-wise, of setting these rituals is to make it so simple you have no excuses not to do them. My personal ones for bedtime is tea. So I always make the same tea, and I don't drink it until I'm like ready for bed. And that's pretty much it. And tea is, you know, it's tea with milk, like that's easy to do. And my wake up ritual, I just use a cup of water now. I have to chug a cup of water, like actually 2 cups of water in the morning that I prepare the night before. And I tell myself I can go back to sleep, you know, after I'm done chugging the glass of water if I really want to, but like I really have to go to the bathroom after that.
Hey there, if you want to know when the next episode drops, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell icon. Until then, keep crushing it.